Hello, greetings, beautiful people. Oh, sorry, that's for my page. Yes, but beautiful people here, if you're here. Uh, beautiful people. So, what is our nature? Beauty. So, I hope I do justice. Hello, everyone here. Thank you for joining me. So many. So, let's see if I do justice. I'm good at chewing, but finding ayats and desecrating. No, no, the Quran is no, close examination, but I really have desecrated without burning it. It's worse than burning. So here we are. Sorry for the laughter. What can I do? I have to crack up from Shia with a Y and the Shia without a Y to arguments put forth by Allah against partners with Him. So I found this as I missed this ayat in my previous live stream when I was doing about the Y Shia and the Shia without the Y uh, in Arabic. So in the Quranites. So here we have, so about this, I was saying why has God done this? And then I was thinking about it, but it would not be the right time to tell you that maybe the polytheists and the Jews, Christians who are having a discussion on this, and the polytheists told them, and that's why about the Shia, the right, that Abraham was also a Shia of Nu, the pagan Arab polytheists. So that's why could be that the reason for Abraham being a Shia of Nu in Surah Safat, ayat 82 or 83, atheist vision has come back. Hello, atheist vision. He says, or they say, hi, are you atheist, materialistic, devoid of any spirituality? No, I'm not that kind of an atheist. Sorry, atheist vision. Um, so it's better if I don't define myself, but if this is important for the topic or something you need help in, you need a atheist materialistic here. So thank you for being here. A warm welcome. Please stick to the topic. I'm an ex-Shia, ex-Muslim, and as far as this Quran thing is concerned, what I am right now doesn't matter, right? And I'm just here for justice and truth. For justice, truth, proof, evidence. So if you can help me with that, I'll really appreciate that, atheist vision. Thank you so much. So I want to understand you that it is. No, you don't have to understand me right now. I could be the worst person on earth, right? You have to understand what I'm pointing at, the Quran ayats. So here we have, so please be patient with me because I won't be able to do justice. I've prepared this recently, and because of my health, if you would care to be considerate enough, right? And not look for your selfish needs or questions that you need to fulfill be answered here. I'm sorry, I cannot do that. That was hard. Yeah, I hope it didn't hit you very hard. Selfish. Huh? You left Islam for what, please? Yes, so I've been doing live streams. There's series of live streams I've been doing. And so can I ask you, are you a Muslim or what are you? So I found the Quran false, and that's why I'm doing this, right? Contradictions, omissions, problems with the Quran ayahs. And so here I am. You can check my previous live streams if you're interested in why I left Islam. There are a series of live streams telling you why I left Islam and showing the problems in the Quran with Quran ayats backing them. Okay, thank you. So here we have ayat on Shia with the Y, and so take a. So I went to Surah Rum ayat, which I'd missed to give earlier in my previous live stream, one of my live streams. Surah Rum ayat 32, or of those who have divided their religion and become sects, Shia, or Shia. The Shia is the root word here. Every faction rejoicing in what it has. Okay, atheist vision. Is it other religions that draw you away? No, from Islam or atheism or no, just purely Islam, purely the Quran ayats and all that drew me away. Good question. Um, no other religion, no ex-Muslim. Um, I had doubts in my religion. I felt somewhere that it was not fully, like it wasn't giving me complete answers to my question, the questions that I had over the years, right? And then I had to take recourse to, because my prayers were being unanswered, I had to take recourse to psychotherapy and self-help books from foreigners, right? So that. And so it started from like Surah Nur, Ayat 33, that I found something wrong with that when I was in my O levels, purely on the Quran ayats. And Surah, later on, Surah Ahzab, Ayat 37, where the Prophet said that he should keep his wife and fear Allah, but he conceals in himself, and then there's a divorce. So I for the life of me, like I had for a long time, some problem trying to understand that ayat. What is that ayat? And when I understood it, I realized that the Shia side and the Sunni side tafsirs, interpretations and explanations didn't, they were worse. So I had to go against them and come here and share what I think should be logically, Any other questions? Atheist vision. So, okay, so this Shia over here, we have is Shia Sunni Muslim. The overwhelming majority of Muslims don't recognize Shia as Islam, as Muslims, yeah, Shia Muslims. So according to them, they were never a Muslim in the first place. Yes, we know that, it's very general. Anything else? Yeah, so overwhelming majority of Muslims don't recognize Shias as Muslims. Anything else? So this Shia is, I was told in a majlis, it means, the party of the tyrant leader like Pharaoh and all. Now, there's another Shia, which is Abraham was a Shia of Nu, and that's a good Shia. Surah 37, ayat 83. So I wanted to point this out, and it's also in Surah Rum, ayat 32, which I missed in my previous live stream to give you. And this is the very thing that the Muslims, also majority of Muslims, can take against the Shias, not realizing that there's a Y Shia, the one with a Y and the one without a Y, and that Abraham was a Shia of Nu. And so the Shias take it like that to tell you that we can be Shias of Imam Ali, right? But majority of Muslims take these ayats, which are many, against the Shia, or of those who have divided their religion and become sects, Shias, every faction rejoicing in what it has. So we have lots of problems in that. Atheist vision, you're very right. We have that, that they think not only that, but they think kafirs and something that some hate the Shias, and they think they've gone away from this religion. But remember, Abraham was not a Shia of Allah. In Surah 37, ayat 83, it says Abraham was the Shia of Nuh. Same way. So you can look at the previous ayats. That's why they've put Nuh in brackets. So this is a good Shia. So please don't kill anyone and hate your own Muslims and call them kafirs. There's also another ayat, if you want me to defend Shia Islam, that says that if they say peace to you, then never, you have nothing against them, nothing to say against them. Okay, so then I stumbled upon Surah Rum ayat 28. He sets forth for you a parable from your own lives. Do you have among your slaves and some who share with you the sustenance that we have bestowed on you, so that you become equals in it, all being alike, and then you would hold them in fear as you fear each other? Doesn't make sense to me. Anyways, I was reading the footnotes here from, this is from Quran.com, the footnotes and all. Thank you, Quran.com. So I'll carry on, finish the ayat. Thus do we make plain the signs for those who use reason. So the footnote here for 1 is in the foregoing section, arguments have been given both for Tawheed and for the hereafter. Now the discourse turns to only Tawheed. That's one God, right? There's only one God, no other gods. And the other footnote, second part of this ayat, Surah Rum ayat 28 from Quran.com says, the mushriks, the polytheists, even after admitting that Allah is the creator and master of the earth and heavens and all that they contain, held some of his creatures as associates in his attributes and powers, and prayed to them, presented offerings, and performing rites of worship before them. Their belief regarding the self-made associates is found in the words of the Talbih that they used to pronounce while going around the Kaaba. They said, "Here I am, O Allah, here I am in thy presence. Thou hast not no partner, thou hast no partner except the partner who is thy own. Thou art his owner as well as owner of what he owns." Uh, uh, Tabarani on the authority of Ibn Abbas has put this, right? So it's there in Tabarani's this thing, Seerah of Prophet Muhammad or something, on the authority of Ibn Abbas. Allah has refuted this kind of shirk in this verse. The argument is to this effect: when you do not make your own slaves partners in your wealth, how do you think and believe that Allah will make his creatures partners in his Godhead? CEN 62 of Surah An-Nahl. M16 is here. Very good morning to you. M16 says, good morning, let us debate. I'm sorry, I don't have a debate on that, but we can have a discussion on this. And you'll have to wait until you can discuss this. Can I just explain and then you can start your discussion on this? So what would be your first question on this? Now the reason used here is nonsensical, senseless, not logical. because I could go on in a logical way, philosophical way, but what I want to show you directly, first of all, he's made his, the Shias know this from Surah Insan or Dahar time, that Imam Ali and Bibi Fatima Zahra fasted because Hassan and Hussein were sick with fever or something, and they gave all their food to a beggar who came, a slave set free, and he didn't have any food, and it was Jibrail, we're told, in disguise. Three nights, I think, he came, and they gave him the food. And then Bibi Fatma Zahra used to, work one day, and the other day, Fiza, she had a maid servant, Fiza. So, according to the Shia way, also this argument falls. It doesn't. It's illogical. The argument is not valid. M16, you know very well. Sorry, I don't do debates. But if you would like to discuss about this, right, put forth your reason here. Just give me your reasons here, and then we can see. So for the polytheists, it's like, would you slaves? So you are slaves of Allah. Like, why would Allah share his, have partners with him? When even in Surah Takwir, you can see that this person, this Rasul, messenger, has partners. Oh, no, that God, one mighty. You see, held in honor with the Lord of the throne. He has God's attribute here. Rasul Kareem, 19th verse of Surah Takwir. And then the 20th verse says, one mighty and held in honor with the Lord of the throne. Nota Kaki. What is wrong with this verse? You still haven't shown it. No, I haven't shown it, sorry. The verse says not to have partners with Allah. Why not? And this kind of reason given is that it's said. Do you understand the reason given here in this Surah Rum ayat 28? Please open your Quran to Surah Rum ayat 28 if you can't see. The reason given here is wrong, because I'll try to explain. Maybe I failed. You see, it's comparing with the people who have slaves. You will not share your food with them. What is it saying? What is this saying? Can you explain to me what this saying? You explain to me then. Huh? What is it? For the life of me, I don't get why this is like, first of all, I have problems understanding this ayat, like equals. He's comparing, he's brought forth a parable. You know what a parable is? An example or something like this. Analogy, right? Do you have among your slaves some who share with you the sustenance, like rizq, food, who share with you? Do you have among your slaves, who share some who share with you the food that we have bestowed on you, so that you become equals in it? Huh? What kind of an argument is this, first of all? Doesn't, I don't get it. Why Allah even would use such a parable, an analogy or an example? You tell me. You're asking me, what is it? Do you understand what this is? And you want a debate before even understanding what this ayat is. You see, the problem with you Muslims is this. Or you're testing me whether I understand. I would, for the life of me, I'm trying to put my head on, like, gather what actually is this parable. comparing it to human beings, would you share your food with your slaves? Huh? So that you become equals in it. Your sustenance, your wealth. Would you share? Why not? There are big people, they give their wealth out. They even leave the crown and crown someone else. There have been situations like this, rare though. And then in Surah Dahar we are told, Bibi Fatma Zahra and all this, for the face of Allah, Wajah. They gave their food away. Every whatever they had, and they were fasting. So there are people like this who give away, make their slaves king and leave their kingdom. Rare cases, but you can't say there aren't people like that. There never were, and there never will be. You see, M16 bestowed on you so that you become equals in it. Okay, here it's saying like what Allah has given you, the food, the rizq, let's say what else is there? Rizq is food, right? Rizq and sustenance. Would you share it with your slaves that they become equal with you? And then would it, but it says all being alike. What does this mean? This is what I'm saying. Sorry, the translation maybe I've chosen is not good enough. Uh, all being alike, right? You all are alike. Of course, we're all alike. We're in one humanity. Allah says in another ayat, oh mankind, you're one. And then I created you in pairs and all this. So pairs come in. There are more pairs for the men. There are 4 wives. Right? So this is quite ridiculous to put forth such a parable by Allah. And I would say, why not? This is my thing. Why not? Why not share your sustenance with your slaves and make them equal? We were told to free our slaves in Quran ayats. In a Quran ayat, right? Free a slave. So this is totally senseless to put forth such an argument. Do you realize, M16, by your Allah, the Supreme, the All-Knowing, Omnipresent, Supreme Creator, huh? The source of all intelligence, we would say, as a Shia. Not even intelligence, but the source of all intelligence. So that you become equals in it. Would you share your sustenance with them? So this parable put forth is pathetic. And then and all being alike, but all being alike, and then you would hold them in fear as you fear each other. Now again, fear is coming in that if you share with them, that is true slaves aren't partners to the master in his wealth, just as creation of Allah aren't partners to him in his domain. Yeah, but look at the way true slaves, who are true slaves? Who are slaves now? I thought Islam was trying to eradicate slavery. It's obscene. It's terrible. I'll show. Where is it? Islam was trying to eradicate. In Shia Islam, we are given under this ayat. Surah Nur ayat, multilingual Quran, right? I think in this under, not slavery, multilingual. True slave? For Allah to give such an example is a insult to those poor slaves. When you're saying Islam eradicated, tried its best, these other people have made slaves right? So it's ridiculous to give such an example. Okay, now I just have to wear my stronger glasses because I have to read closer. Go close. Sorry, 33. Under 33 ayat, or maybe the commentary, a Muslim cannot satisfy. Okay. Slavery is now obsolete. Under Surah Nur ayat 33, Islam made it possible to put an end to slavery by enacting laws which, step by step, gave freedom to slaves. See the commentary of Al-Baqarah 177. To set a slave free was considered to be one of the most distinguishing qualities of a believer. It is speaking primarily to the pagan Arabs. Okay, you're saying that it's speaking to the pagan Arabs since all are equal and the pagan Arabs had slaves, right? But they had partners with Allah. And they used to, you would believe in what the Quran ayats are saying. That, okay, so if it's liberate slaves, Islam liberated slaves, but still had slave girls whom you could use, right? It's an insult, right? Surah Nisa, ayat 25. When you're a man, when a Muslim man, when a Muslim man is fearing that he will fornicate, don't marry, can't marry, and whoever among you cannot find the means, they're not rich also themselves, to marry free believing women, then he may marry from those whom your right hands possess, of believing slave girls. Right? What was that message retracted? Huh? So these are slaves too, right? And Allah is most knowing about your faith. You believers are one of one another. Although it says this. So marry them with the permission of their people and give them the due compensation, mahr, according to what is acceptable. They should be chaste, neither of those who commit unlawful intercourse randomly, nor those who take secret lovers. But once they are sheltered in marriage, if they should commit adultery, then for them is half the punishment because they're less than the free believing women. Half the punishment for free unmarried women. This allowance is for him among you who fears affliction, i.e., sin. But to be patient, you see, this allowance is for him among you who fears affliction, the man who fears that he's having this desire to sleep with a woman. Slaves aren't partners to the master, equally controlling his property. Yes, they're not partners to equally controlling his property. So, what does it have to do with comparing it to, like, so you think, okay, so is God like human being? Huh? So on one hand, there slavery is obsolete and all these contradictions. But do you think that God should have given this kind of an example in Surah Rum ayat 28? parable? When, okay, if you don't think this is a ridiculous, senseless, illogical example, then why does he have someone in Surah Takwir? Can you tell me? Rasul Kareem? Just as that creatures aren't partners to God, why shouldn't they be co-partners with God, equally controlling its kingdom? Are you sure that's what Islam tells you? They're not controlling his kingdom, but there are angels who are taking care of his kingdom, bringing his messages down. And there is one here, Rasul Kareem, right? What is he doing with the Lord of the throne? Huh? It's useless to give such a example, right? M16. When in Surah Takwir, there is a Rasul Kareem. And where is he? He has quwwat. I've shown this previously. So it's useless to give this slave and man, the master and slave example, because you have yourself done this, right? What would you say about this? This is the speech of a noble messenger. 19 of Surah Takwir ayat. 20th is, who possesses great strength, quwwati, zi, quwwatan, quwwati. Sorry, not quwwatan, quwwati. Possessor of power with the owner of the throne. Who is the owner of the throne? Huh? He's the master, right? He's Allah. Secure. With. It says inda. Inda. Right? With. So you're saying that, oh, because the polytheists had slaves and they were masters, and this is the way to tell them? No. This is not the way to tell them. Tell them in better ways. Instead of using their examples which you don't agree to, like, would you do this with your slaves? So be consistent. See, I wouldn't even regard slaves proper. You are all equal. When you don't agree to somebody, you don't give them their example, right? Would you give them their example? And then do it yourself with authority. Having partners. Jesus Christ is a partner with God. Nearness to God. Al Imran verses, I can show you. Because I'm going to go ahead. Philosophically, maybe I may be wrong somewhere. The Abdul Halim translate is the accurate one, but he is no. I'm using the translation, which is Abdul Halim translation is the. How do you know? Huh? How do you know the Abdul Halim translation? Possessor of great strength and is held in honor by the Lord of the throne. Held in honor, izzati. You know, honor means izzati. There is no mention of izzati here. So don't try to fool me, deceive me, you can't. Seems like you are not an Arab. And this book was sent down for Arabs to understand. There is no izzati here, honor. It says the quwwati. And I can show you either dhu quwwati or dhi quwwati means quwwatan. And in the with, there is no held in honor. But held in honor with the Lord of the throne. Even if you take that mistranslation of Abdul Halim and not the direct verse translating, he's still with the Lord of the throne, owner of power. Right? M16. He's still with the Lord of the throne, his master, Lord of the throne, Allah. Hope you get this, because then please take time out, then come afterwards for a debate or something, right? When you understand. You're taking Abdul Halim's translation, all this will not do, sorry. Take the direct Arabic word and kuwati, and don't play around here. Because I can go to Surah Zariyat and show you this. The Lord, Allah is Zu Quwwati. Okay? Honor of Quwwat. Let's see other translations of. No, sorry. You're taking too much of my time. You can go and see and then come back. Here, I need to go ahead now. Sorry, I need to do justice to the polytheists here. Sorry, I cannot. So 30th, again, Surah Rum, ayat 27. And it is he who begins creation, then he repeats it. And that is even easier for him. To him belongs the highest description. If I find you escaping, go to your translations. Then I will, if I see you dishonest people here, I will time you out. Okay? M16. It is very clear, that ayat. Are you an Arab? Are you from Bangladesh, Pakistan, Asia? Where are you from? India? Muslim? That you have to see other translations. Okay, I'm wasting my time. I know that I should have just cut short. It is, there's more. Jesus gives life, but he says by the permission of Allah, but he gives life to the dead. So Surah Rum, ayat 27, and it is he who begins creation, then repeats it, then that is even easier for him. To him belongs the highest description, attribute in the heavens and earth. Belong the highest description. And he is exalted in might, the wise. But there's a possessor of strength with the Lord of the throne. What is that? So to tell you that I'm not escaping anything, I'm not being dishonest, I'm looking at what is, not like, distractions and here and there, let's look at another translation. We are not here to look at other translations of Surah Takwir. I've finished it in other live streams, about 19 and 20 verse. So now M16 dishonestly wants to take me to different translations. Okay, proceed. Very good. Thank you. Now, what is his highest attribute? To him belongs the highest description, attributes in the heavens and the earth. Okay, you see, I'm not escaping any. I can give you Surah Rum ayat 40 also, which says he's the creator. And maybe I've put it, but I'm going step by step now. So please bear with me here. Surah Rum ayat 30 says, so direct your face, eye self toward the religion, inclining to truth, adhere to the fitra, the nature of Allah, upon which he has created all people. What is the fitra of Allah? What is the nature of Allah that He has created? You know, He's created people with on His nature. Depends on how you translate this ayat. It's open to interpretations. So you must have a little bit of Allah's nature, or how much of His nature you have complete His nature in you. How can you be lower than Allah in His nature, in Allah's nature? No change should there be in the creation of Allah. That is the correct religion. But most of the people do not know. Okay? Footnote, meaning of this ayat in Quran.com, I got it from there. Thank you. The natural inborn inclination of man to worship his creator prior to the corruption of his nature by external influences. Really? Thus, Islamic monotheism is described as the religion of fitra. The fitra of whom? The fitra of Allah. Oh my God. That of the inherent nature of mankind, which is Allah's. The fitra of Allah. Like when Allah says, Spirit, we sent our spirit Jesus is Ruh Allah. It becomes Isa, Ruh Allah, becomes Spirit of Allah. So you are made in the fitra of Allah. This means that there could be, it has meanings now. What would you say, M16? But please, I don't know how you people miss this. You don't want to do justice or what, I don't know. Fitra of Allah, it says here, which He created people. Which He has created people. Could it be monotheistic or could it be oneness with Allah? Huh? In His nature He has created. So I don't know what the others are saying, translators and all are saying. And then we have 31 ayat. Adhere to it, turning in repentance to Him. 31 ayat, right, of Surah Rum. Adhere to it, turning in repentance to Him, and fear Him and establish prayer. And do not be of those who associate others with Allah. Do not be of those who associate others with Allah. Again and again, I'll take you to Surah Takwir, ayat 19 and 20. Who is with the Lord of the throne, meaning Allah? One with quwwati, and that is also an attribute of Allah. Allah has given it to Himself. In other ayats I can show you. And I have shown you in previous live streams when I did that on Surah Takwir. Then this one, Surah Rum ayat 35 says, or have we sent down to them an authority, i.e. a proof or scripture, and it speaks of what they have been associating with Him. Now they were killed in Surah Tawbah, we're told. And even if they give you authority, evidence, do not stand with them. Do not take their testimony. Right? So this is a bit difficult to explain and show you, but I'm doing my best. I hope you will have patience with me. Right? Authority proof scripture? Maybe they do, like the knowledge that the believers have in their heart given to them about Allah. Right? This is in their hearts. There's a ayat. Associating with have been, yes, there's a direct example I can give you What authority are you asking from the polytheists? I can give you from this Quran ayat, which I have been giving you, Surah Takwir, his attribute. Even Rasulullah shares one of his attributes, the merciful. Prophet Muhammad, mercy sent down. So I've read the Sunni tafsirs on the Quran ayats that not you can't even give an attribute to someone. It's like saying you are associating with it, with Allah. That person you have given Allah's attribute to. It's shirk. You can't even give Allah's attribute to someone. It's shirk. But what are you asking them for authority, since you could have erased their authority? In Surah Tawbah, we're told how the polytheists were killed or asked to leave that area. So their evidence, everything cannot be taken. Could have been, if they would be killed if they stayed there and were not Muslims. Then think of what authority, what proof or scripture could they give? Many points like this I can give you, but now I'll just take you here. And I should have brought the other one, but this is with the Lord. Surah Takwir ayat, right? Where is it? Surah 81, ayat 20. One possessor of power with the Lord of the throne. The others held in honor and all this. Just describe inda, which is not izzati. Or with your honor, Iblis said, I will. It's not honor, it's not izzati. It's inda, with. So you can put in words like this, trying to, God knows, explain it. Explain the ayat by putting the words in the ayat, adding words in the ayat. Translations, English translations. Like one has done here. And M16 is saying he or she wants to take that. The ones added, in the ayat, in the translations of the ayat. So back up here. So direct your face towards, which one was it? 35, sorry. So footnote, it says that in Quran.com under this ayat number 1, and it speaks of what they have been associating with them. Footnote, that is what authority have do, they have to say that the calamities are not averted by God, but by the so-called saint. Does common sense approve of it? This is really funny. God, does common sense approve of it? Your God doesn't make sense at times at all. Senseless, nonsensical. Like, or is there any divine book which says that Allah has delegated His powers to such and such saints? Implied it is in the Quran ayats. But there's a direct ayat which all the Sunni Muslims have missed. Honor of power with the Lord of the throne secure. Surah Takwir ayat 20. Rasul Kareem. So what are you saying to the polytheists? Provide proof and this and that. Doesn't make common sense. That, has there ever been something like, is there any divine book which says that Allah is? Yes, your own book says it. But, like, it's implied, right? You could call on those people who, that Rasul Kareem. Huh? Owner of power. He would be useless if you don't call on him. His power is useless. You're not estimating the Rasul Kareem, owner of power, with the Lord of the throne. Secure. So at least see the powers to such and such saints, and that they should now be invoked by the people to help them out of difficulties. I mean, this is, Shias went blue telling the Sunnis that look, Rasulullah's position is such that we can say, Ya Rasulullah, even now he's not dead, he's alive. Because the martyrs don't die. And he's Rasul, he was mercy sent down. He's got an attribute of Allah personified. Mercy sent down for all the worlds and for all the times. You can't just put him for that time and say he was a mercy sent down at that time. So many things are implied in the Quran you can do. Invoke by the people to help them out. You'll call your mother, wouldn't you? If, let's say, certain when you're small, you would cry and she would give you food. So the Shias were like, look, in this world, let's be practical, Sunnis. Right now that our Imam is present on earth, Khalifatul Rahman, Imam Mahdi, the 12 Shias went blue, telling the Sunnis, trying to explain to you. You would call, okay, prayer, everything, this Quran is a healing to the believers and a mercy. But how many of you, you Muslims would call on a doctor, God forbid, or take a tablet for your headache? Nowadays, life has become very fast, very materialistic. You're not nature bound. Now you're city bound. Maybe in countryside somewhere you might not have that much headaches and all. Diseases are there. When COVID came, every religious person had to put on a mask. But the healing is in this Quran. Healing and mercy. And my religious scholar, when I consulted him, he said, no, you should go to a psychiatrist. Take medication also if they give you. Yet the Quran ayat says what? Healing. It is a healing and a mercy to the believers. And Allah has favored some of you over others in provision. Okay, so have I missed anything here? The footnote, thank you, Quran.com, and that they should now be invoked by the people to help them out of difficulties. Okay, so yes, you would call a fireman. You're not an expert. God forbid if there is fire or something, God forbid. You would call the fireman, right? Fireman. So this is just not going with the common sense in this world. People are also interdependent. And you can't say that I want to be independent completely from my parents or something, You can't say that, because then how are you going to earn money, have an apartment, live like that, at least away from your parents' dependency? But now you're dependent on a job, on a company, on your earning, on your taqat to work, on your strength to work, right? God forbid if something like me happened, you wouldn't have the strength to work. You'll be dependent. So it's just not practical, and yes, does common sense approve of it? Yes, common sense approves of it here. Since when Allah gives a parable in Surah Rum ayat, it's about master and slave, It's about human, and that, and you would say the pagans, like M16 said, had slaves and they were masters. Would they share with the slaves? So this is why Allah means that. It is some points that I've missed. I will not be able to do justice. I was saying this in the beginning when I came here. May God help me do justice, and also my, you see, M16, if I have not answered you today, I will do a separate live stream because this needs a lot of live streams. I don't know how many live streams, and I also need a lot of live streams because I could miss a point and then come again and, say that, oh, I have to add this. Ask yourself, M16, be honest. Would Allah bring forth a parable to the polytheists about master and slave if he later on disapproves of that master and slave? He says all are equal. So if all are equal, can't we all be one with Allah? And I tell you, Jesus is nearest to God. There's an ayat there. And also Jesus says, I give. So why only Jesus? Huh? And why only Mary got sustenance from up above when Zachariah entered her house? Whence this, Mary? Maryam, whence this? So you, O Israel, O children of Israel, we have favored you above all others. Can you say that Allah should be such a master to have slaves? Or would, great people would sacrifice their all, would leave the slavery and mastership. This is what we are told in Surah Zahar, what Bibi Fatma Zahra and Imam Ali did. So please set forth a parable that would make sense. And then if you're saying all are equal, all are alike, and that this is wrong what you are doing, then the parties are looking at Allah's, the ayat. Oh my God, now, then M16, you know what I mean? Then Allah, you favored the Bani Israel above the people, above all Alameen. And here you're saying, you know what I mean? Please be honest with yourselves. We're not here. This is against my religion that I started to do. Not because of justice. One thing, like in London, UK, we find corruption, mistake, high, like a CEO has done in a company, he will step down, retire. So we are here for that justice, to see how great our Allah was and how great this religion was. And I was going to tell the Sunnis how great Shia Islam was when I could. So now it's come boiled down to this. He sets forth for you parable from your own lives. This means Allah is very possessive. He wants to be the master. If he wanted, he could even have a son. Choose a son from you, among you. And why not a daughter? So putting forth such a parable is useless, even though they're at that time pagan, this, that. But go deep into this and see. Question your heart tonight. There's a poem, Question Your Heart Tonight for me. Like the wife or the lover is telling, like, question your heart. How much do you, what is, you love me sincerely, faithfully? What? Question your heart tonight. Go deep into this and see it is useless to give such a, this is only like some human being giving an example. This is not that great Allah who can, Sufis have had union with, and they've been killed. Mansur al-Hallaj was killed for saying, Ana al-Haq, I am the truth, meaning I am God. He didn't say I am God, and he was killed by the Muslims, by his Muslims. And he's telling you he's made the wind like this for you. At least be grateful to the wind also, not just Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is this? If you go to a foreign, okay, now I'm giving uh, like for example, I'm like, let's say you go to the college, like we were, a project you do, and you get help from this book. You're supposed to write references and acknowledgement of your project. You're supposed to thank your teacher and the people who helped you typing this, that. You're supposed to thank them too. It's not only thanking Allah, thanking Allah. You come out without an acknowledgement. You say, no, I'm a Muslim. Sorry, I can't thank you for your help. I only thank Allah. Or you'll do it in a way that hypocritically, foreign country where you study, someone has prayed for you and you say, no, Allah helped me. And we were saying, we're all praying for you. Shukr Allah, shukr Allah. Like Subhan Allah, Kareem Allah, this Allah, that Allah. And not that we need a thank you from you, but it's just that an example. Etiquettes and all this, right? The great person will not. You see, they didn't want any thanks. We are told. So you put these pagan Arabs down, polytheists, by saying that, oh, you are masters. Would you take your slave and give them a share of your sustenance? And how is it saying this, Among you say, some who share. Okay, some who share. The sharing. It's not like you're sharing your food. Right? You're sharing. You haven't relinquished it altogether. Also, look at this ayat. You haven't given up your share altogether. You're sharing. It's like a company which has partners. You've made them partners to you in that company. And the partners get the dividends, profits. So some share with you, some who share with you the sustenance that Allah says, I have bestowed on you, so that you become equals in it, right? All being alike. And then you would hold them in fear as you fear each other. Oh my God. What kind of an example is this? I don't understand. Although you made me, but it's senseless. Thank you for at least making me understand M16, the pathetic example. I just get a dissonance in this, my mind. What is this? Should this come from a true God? Sorry, I'm not a PhD. I wish I was a PhD in philosophy. or professional. I'm not even good in explaining. Last time I said my logic, and I was making fun of myself. Yeah, yeah. So you have logic from childhood. You learned it. Sorry, I don't know where I learned it from, but from childhood I had this logic thing, cases upon cases in childhood, right? Like that. Sorry. Uh, so now, Nida apologized a lot. What else is there? Then we are told in the Quran.com to go somewhere in Surah Nahl ayat and check this because it's the same argument presented. So we go to Surah Nahl ayat 71. Surah 16 is Surah Nahl. 71 says, to understand this, let's see, and Allah has favored some of you over others in provision. But those who were favored, i.e., given more, would not hand over the provision to those whom their right hands possess. Right? The slaves, i.e., slaves, whom your right hands possesses, your slaves, right? So they would be equal to them therein. Then, is it the favor of Allah they reject? What is this? Can someone please explain this again to me? Like, this argument is used to say, what? Footnote. The argument presented in this verse is that if they cannot consider their own possessions equal to themselves, then how can they consider Allah's creations as being equal to Him? Right? There is pantheism. They do consider Allah's creation as one with Allah. And you're saying that's illogical. That's no, that doesn't hold common sense. That doesn't hold logic because all Allah here is saying, can you hold anything, His creation even equal to Him? But there's pantheism. Footnote for the first and where is it? Okay, so I've put two footnotes here. I chose from the first one was from Sahih International in Quran.com, and the second one is from Tafim al Quran Abul Ala Maududi. For this one, footnote one here. Can you see the one here? Right? Ala Maududi says, it will be worthwhile to give deep thought to the meanings of this verse. Right? Right. This is what I've been doing about the polytheists and what I used to think. Will the Hindus, because more near to us were the Hindus in Pakistan, so I used to think, and we used to watch their movies and all. Would God put them in the fire? He hates them. They are ninjas. Why? This, that. Anyhow, so it will be worthwhile to give deep thought to the meanings of this verse. For some modern commentators of the Quran have founded strange economic theories and systems on it. For some modern commentators of the Quran, your own people, he's saying, have founded strange economic theories and systems on it. Their interpretation is an instance of perverting the meaning of the Quran by isolating verses from their context and treating it as a separate whole in order to formulate a new philosophy and law of Islamic economics. In their opinion, the verse implies this. You have dissensions in all this. In your own Muslim, Muslim people. Those people to whom Allah has given more provisions than others should share these equally with their servants and slaves. Otherwise, they shall be guilty of ingratitude to Allah in regard to the wealth with which He had blessed them. This commentary on the verse is obviously wrong and far-fetched. because in the context it occurs, there is no mention at all of any law of economics. The whole passage in which this verse occurs deals with the refutation of shirk and proof of tawheed. The same themes are continued in the subsequent verses. There seems to be no reason why an economic law should have been inserted here, which would have been absolutely irrelevant, to say the least. On the contrary, when the verse is considered in its context, it becomes quite obvious that it is no more than the statement of a fact to prove the same theme that is contained in this passage. It argues like this: when you yourselves do not make your servants and slaves equal partners in your wealth, which in fact is given to you by Allah, how is it that you join other gods with God in your gratitude to Him for the favors with which He has blessed you? You know that these gods have no powers to bestow anything on anyone. No, they don't. There is a possessor of power, Rasul Karim. Your own book says, Quran ayat says. So please don't estimate that Rasul Karim, owner of power or possessor of power. This is what you've been doing. If you do that. What? You know that these gods have no powers to bestow anything on anyone. No. This is wrong, to put it this way. And therefore, have no right in your worship of Allah. And if they had the power, then they would have the right also to right in your worship of Allah, right? If they had the power. So what is this Zu Quwwati, owner of power? He surely is the owner of power that can give you power. If I may try to explain that in other words, like some Quran-only people just take it like, it's okay, like granted, for granted. It's like, okay, there's someone, Rasul Karim, who is owner of power with the Lord of the throne. Please see, owner of power or possessor of power with the Lord of. What is his position there as the owner of power? When God Himself says, Zu Quwwati, He is, in Surah Zariyat, Himself, and Himself being the Lord of the throne. So give the right estimate, right? What power He owns with the Lord of the throne. Secure. And if you call on Jibrail, let's say this Rasul Karim is what the Sahih International, the Tafsir says, Jibrail. What power he has. If you call on Jibrail, you're shirking. You're polytheists. For they are, after all, His slaves and servants. But this Zu Quwwati, Rasul Karim, he's brought it end. Right? So I have to give Surah Takwir ayat 20. So now the Surah Najm, there's no mention here. No mention here. You see, but there may be how to treat this Jibrail or someone. Let's just call him Rasul Karim. So they've said here, he's an angel. Surah An-Najm ayat 45 deals with the same theme. Thus, under Surah Takwir ayat 20, right? This is from Quran.com. Footnote. deals with the same theme. Thus it is but a revelation which is sent down to him, one mighty in power has taught him. As to what is implied by the mighty powers of the angel Gabriel is ambiguous. You see, you're not told. Like, we don't know. In any case, it just brushes off like that. Ambiguous. See, his mighty powers are, God has not even told you. Why? Why did he leave this out? Just call on me, call on me. And he's using Gabriel, mighty powers. Almighty and mighty powers. So the Sunnis are admitting themselves. Muslims, non-Shias also. This is not a Shia commentary from Quran.com under this ayat and surah. Powers is ambiguous. In any case, brush it off, right? In any case, it at least shows that he is distinguished even among the angels because of his extraordinary powers. In Muslim Kitab al-Iman, Aisha has reported the prophets saying to the effect, I have twice seen Gabriel in his real shape and form, his glorious being. Not Allah's glorious being. His glorious being was encompassing the whole space between the earth and the heavens. Did he reach the Kursi, the throne of Allah? Because he is with the throne of Allah. Surah Takwir ayat, what is he? So how shall I say it? How many, you haven't you've just brushed this aside. Okay, we read this, but don't call on Gabriel, don't call on Michael. Just believe in them. Glorious being, and what is this? Was encompassing the whole space between the earth and the heavens. According to the tradition reported from Abdullah bin Masud in Bukhari, Muslim, Tirmidhi, and Musnad Ahmad, the Prophet had seen Gabriel with his 600 wings. From this one can have an idea of his mighty powers. So if you're going to say mighty powers given to him by Allah, but he's one of them, right? Mighty powers. Surah Takwir ayat 20. With the Lord of the throne. So sorry, M16. Your translations and held with honor, his mighty powers. You see, that's why I said, please hold your horses. What about him being partner with Allah? Now you've implied, but the only thing is left unsaid is that he is a partner with Allah, the Lord of the throne. That's it, right? And those poor polytheists, this, not, that, not, and you don't have scriptures which speak, you don't have proof and nothing to speak for this, that you are holding partners with Allah. Okay, then as what is in Surah Baqarah, O children of Israel, remember my favor which I bestowed upon, right? He's put above these children of Israel, above you people, humans. Allah himself, and then he says all are equal. He's favored some. And this is not like risk favoring provision, right? This is not favoring with the risk. Food. Ask yourself, what is this favor that Allah has favored them above all the worlds? Surah Baqarah 47. O children of Israel, remember all the favors I granted you and how I honored you above the others. And Surah Baqarah ayat 122. O children of Israel, remember my favor which I bestowed upon you, and that I preferred you. He's got favoritism. Allah Himself preferred you to the Alameen, mankind and jinns. The rest. And then in Surah Jummah, they're saying to Hadu Jews that exclusively you take yourselves as friends of Allah and exclude others from it. Against the Hadu Jews. They're Jews. And someone was saying, a Muslim on his live stream, that these are not children of Israel. They worship the tree. Okay, Surah 30, ayat 58. Back to Surah Rum, ayat 58. Now, and we have certain, back to Surah Rum, and the same, here I am. Okay, good. You are here, M16, welcome back. Hope you made some tea or something. I also need some sip from my cold tea now. So I needed a break. Good. Welcome. Now, Surah Rum, ayat 58 says, and we have certainly presented to the people in the Quran every kind of example. Now I'm a little bit changing from, because I found this ayat. Remember, in the previous live stream somewhere, earlier live stream, I read this out, right? Surah 6, ayat 9. Had we appointed an angel, we would have sent him down in form of a man, and thus we would have caused them the same doubt which they now entertain. Or blaming them that, had we sent an angel, they were in the form of a man, and Allah is competent over everything, able to do this. He sent Maryam the angel, but Maryam had no doubt. And he's still blaming them that they would have doubts. Had we even sent an angel, so, what is this? Blaming them that they would still have doubts. It's not right. And we had, Surah Rum ayat 58, let's see, and we have certainly presented to the people in this Quran from every kind of example, but O Muhammad, if you should bring them a sign, the disbelievers will surely say, you believers are but falsifiers. So since here in Surah 6, ayat 9, he blames them, had we sent an angel, Allah assumes that they would still have doubts. Wouldn't it be unfair? Like, this ayat is also unfair. It's not right. I proved this ayat wrong. Like, Allah should have never assumed about his people, them, still having doubts. You see, that Allah should have given scientific proof, everything. So now, as Muslims, we could have given to the scientists also. Or we said, we're giving it to the scientists. Help us. We gave all this knowledge to the science which came from the omniscient, omnipotent, one creator, supreme creator, who has no similarity. Can you say that? No, you can't. Oh, God. Maybe in other philosophic, you say that God has given a mind and has given that, but that's a different matter. It's not like you Muslims only believe in one God, and we have certainly presented to people in this Quran from every kind of example. But O Muhammad, if you should bring them a sign, the disbelievers will surely say, you believers are but falsifiers. Liar, liar, pants on fire. What a thing. And here he's assuming, Allah is assuming, and you want to believe that Allah, that he's the true Allah, assuming that had we even sent an angel and, in the form of a man, they would still be entertaining doubts. That's not right. And you expect to believe in this ayat. Oh my God. Please don't. This is not the true Allah. Surah 6, ayat 9, saying this. Then back to Surah Rum, ayat 47. And we have already sent messengers before you to their peoples, and they came to them with clear evidences. Right. But why are you assuming that if you sent an angel? You did not send an angel in the man's form. So what is this Allah doing? Making you even go into assumptions about these disbelievers, doubters. Don't let this Allah make you do that. 47. And we have already sent messengers before you to the peoples, and they came to them with clear evidences. Then we took retribution from those who committed crimes, and incumbent upon us was support of the believers. Right? Now, partners with Allah. Back to partners with Allah, the evidence of the Quran. Don't assume. He didn't send an angel. And he says, even if I sent an angel in a man's form, all this is wrong. It's just logically, it is a mishmash. This Allah doing something like this, all knowing that you could kill people for. Blaspheming against Allah even. Some Muslims can kill us. Partners with Allah. Back to partners with Allah. Surah Rum ayat 40 says, Allah is the one. Be a witness to this one. And be honest. Surah Rum ayat 40 says, I thought I would never catch Allah on this ayat. This false Allah. Not the true polytheist Allah. That he has exploited and, robbed ayats from. Allah is the one who created you, then provided for you, then will cause you to die, then will give you life, then will give you life. Right? Shall I read this again and again? Can you see this ayat below? Ali Imran 49. Can you see this ayat? M16? Come out of that Muslim brainwashing now. Please. Come here. What does Jesus Christ say? In Ali Imran we are told. Huh? I'm losing sleep over you. Chicago or some song from Chicago? Sorry. Allah is the one who created you. Right. All Muslims rise for that. Almighty Allah, we worship alone. Then provided for you. Then will cause you to die. And then will give you life. Are there any of your partners who does anything of that? Telling the polytheists, bear witness today. Islam is a lie and I have finished it. It's nailed it. Against Ali Imran verse 49. Okay, let me complete it. Are there any of your partners or polytheists or mushrik? Even put, no, don't put Christians in this, okay? Let's just not put Christians in this. Who does anything of that, exalted is he, and high above what they associate with him. Right? Then bring the dead back to life with God's permission. Al Imran 49 verse. He will send him as a messenger to the children of Israel. I have come to you with a sign from your Lord. I will make the shape of a bird for you out of clay. Then breathe into it. What does Allah do? When He made Adam with clay and breathed into him His spirit, same thing Allah was doing with Adam. Same thing Isa ibn Maryam is doing here, saying, with God's permission, okay, you add that, but now he's got associate at least, right, with him. It will become a real bird. I will heal the blind and the leper and bring the dead back to life with God's permission. Now, the only thing Pharaoh didn't tell Musa and Harun, Allah, do you believe in Musa and Harun? Do you believe in Musa and Harun's Allah? Pharaoh said, I can give life to the people, not kill them, but give life to them. What did Musa say? Can you bring the sun or from the west? No, from the west, yeah, since it comes up from the east. What a stupid thing. What, and Abraham's all this given, stars set, and so I'm not going to, there's no partner with Allah. Abraham's reasoning in the Quran ayats we are given also. I will show you some of them. If I don't lose my strength here. Let's see how far I can go to do justice, to show you how deceived you Muslims are. And it hurts me also, like I had a terrible, I used to have terrible pain. I don't want to think about it right now while I'm doing this. Where's the stylus? Huh? So, this is it, right? Yeah, by the permission of Allah, but bring the dead back to life. Who can do this? Allah says here, when Surah Rum ayat, He says, okay, Allah is the one who created you, then provided for you, then will cause you to die. And then I should have this also made black, bold. Right? Sorry, you can't see this. I need my stylus. I can't find it now. Where did I keep it here? Okay, you see this? Please have a look at it. Have a look at this. Partner with Allah. You just, this is so unfair. So unfair. To the Christians, to the mushrik, whoever are the mushrik here. So unfair. To the polytheists. Because the third thing He says here, Allah, when saying, are there any of your partners who does anything of that? You see this? You see this? Here in Surah Rum, ayat 40, take Surah Rum, I was scared to take ayat. Yeah, are there? I couldn't remember that in Al Imran what Isa ibn Maryam has said. Ibn Maryam has said. In the ayat it is said. Can here against the polytheists saying, are there any of your partners who does anything of that? Anything? Maybe any one thing? Huh? Any one thing of this? Can I put it like in a point form? Allah is the one who created you. then provided for you, then will cause you to die, and then will give you life. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Bring the dead back to life with God's permission, right? Should Allah have put this ayat, this, like this? Isa al-Masih. This means if any one partner of yours can do any of these, he becomes what? He becomes exalted is he high above what they associate with him. He becomes a partner of him, right? Because not one of the partner can do one of these things said here. Mark my words. Islam is finished. Today. Because what would this make Jesus Christ then? A partner with Allah. It doesn't even say here, by my permission. And it says here, Isa al-Masih is saying in Al Imran, verse 49, what is he saying? Bring the dead back to life. What Allah should have said here? With my permission. Can any of your partners who does anything of that with my permission? He didn't. This is your fake, all-knowing, supreme creator who has deceived you like this. So much blame on these polities. Surah Bain ayat, Surah Tawbah ayat, they are nijjas, idol worshippers, or polytheists, mushrik. They do not even have to be idol worshippers, but why not? You know what Jesus has done? What God has done to Adam? This ayat should have been given by the Najran Christians to Prophet Muhammad. When he said when they say the likeness of Isa is like Maryam, he was miraculously born. But no. Isa can do what Adam is not mentioned here can do. No prophet is mentioned here can do by the permission of Allah. Only Isa al-Masih can do this. How did he bring Adam to life? Allah, I have come to you with a sign from your Lord. I will make the shape of a bird for you out of clay. You know, in this, you know where clay came from? Hayatul Qulub. First, Iblis they were trying to compete. Who will bring the clay? Jibrail. It came from earth. Earth was there. God, Jibrail or someone, brought the clay to God from earth. Read Hayatul Qulub. Right? Now, whatever, but that's I'm going deeper into that. I can't show you Hayatul Kulub right now. What's happened? Jesus blew into the bird a clay, blew into out of clay shape of a out of clay made a shape of a bird and then blew into it. Jesus, first of all, also that with the Najran Shia Mubila, see this, the discussion, the ayat that came that Adam's similarity is like that of Isa al-Masih and Isa's similarity is like that of Adam. I've done it. Thank God for these two ayats I found. And I remembered. I went to Ali Imran 49 this time. Everything Jesus is doing here is God's. God has done with Adam. It will become a real bird. But I will heal the blind and the leper. About Adam's creation, Jesus Christ did it on earth, showing. So, sorry, can't be. Adam cannot do what Jesus Christ has done. It's your ayat in Ali Imran 49. I'm not saying it. You see this, how you have been deceived against the polytheists to so much repulsion, so much hatred. You can't have and eat a meal together. Najis. Okay? Now, how much time has gone by? Please like, share sparingly, tell the people what a false religion this is, how we have been deceived. You Muslims, open your eyes to this. I have nothing against someone who would tell the truth, who would do justice, and even failing to do justice would at least, say that, acknowledge that they failed to do justice. I'm really sorry. I cannot help you. But hiding themselves and lying and all this is not my reasonable man's way, even. Now, do you see this? This is today, and I finished Islam. These two ayats also. Taking, like, how long did it take me? Against polytheists. I was like, well, if I give this ayat, well, I'll just leave this ayat. I'll just say that ayat example doesn't come up to the standard of logical common sense even, and it's not proper. How shall I call it? Senseless, inappropriate. The parable given in Surah Rum, ayat 28, 29, is inappropriate. It's not, it doesn't come up to the standard of a true God. And there's so many other contradictions about having partners with Allah, and the ayats there here scattered. Takwir, Surah Takwir, there's an owner of power. You don't know there's estimation. If you knew his estimation on earth, like we Shia say, if you knew the estimation of a Imam present, Khalifatul Rahman, by the permission of Allah, you would be calling him. Right? And you would be a Shia, is Muslim. Now you see, this is it. This has finished. I didn't go to Sam Shamoun because I didn't go to Christian Prince for this. I didn't go to Rob Christian for this. I found these two ayats myself. Rob Christian, they are Christians. They would say Prophet Muhammad was a pagan, Arab, polytheist, Nichas. Well, they use that surah. They are not for, who will defend Who will stand up for everyone? Not being a Christian, stand for the Christianity here in these ayats. These ayats. Stand for Jews in these ayats. Stand for politics in these ayats. Who would not be a Jew and stand for Jews. Who would not be. For haq, for justice. That's all. You see, I'm not getting any from Christian Prince or here, Rob Christian, any kind of favors or going there, right? But thanks to their information about against the Sunni Islam, is a lot. It's massive. It's gigantic. And the Quran having errors and all this, Imam Ali also said this has errors. They show from the Sunni and the rest of non-Shia Muslims. But who is the Shia who will do this and show you and my Shias? Where I'm trying to show you now. I'm not saying leave Imam Hussain Azadari, but just know this, right? How much? Put justice in justice's place. Put the thing in its proper place, please. If it's right, it's right. Sometimes someone's right can be some other person's wrong. I do agree to that. But here, putting this right in its right place, it's a false God. He used ayats and all that. That's why you get the Shia and Shia. Because the polytheists may be sitting with when they became friends with the Jews, they had allied with the Jews. They said, you know why the Shia with the Y and a different Shia, that our Zakir even said, noteworthy in the Quran, ayats. There's a Shia and there's a Shiati. Shia, right? Like that, with the quote up. Correct yourselves. I think he stole it. I contemplated on this, that it came to me like an insight. I said, oh, now what they changed is that this is Shia sect, but the polytheists must have told the Jews, because the Jews had the Exodus and against the calf worshippers and all this, right? You call it the Exodus. In the Bible, it's there. So there in Makkah, when the Jews they were there, then they must have sat and said, then look. So this is the end of my notes, right? Today's notes. So then they said, look, we have associates, our Awliya, Surah Sumarai 3, we worship them. So wasn't Abraham a Shia of Nuh? So it's like few. You see, it doesn't make sense that Allah would say Abraham was a Shia of Nuh in this Quran ayat, Surah 37, ayat 83. Now do you get it, Shias? I'm unable to explain it properly, like say it in proper words and all this. And then say in this very bluntly, Surah 30, ayat 32, someone has tampered with the Qurans also. And then where does Imam Ali come? Hal Ata, Surah Insan, the commentary, Hal Ata, Shia commentary. So you see here, back to Surah Rumai 32, or of those who have divided their religion and become sects, every faction rejoicing in what it has. Right? So they've put a Shia with a Y here. Because they could not fathom that, someone, long time ago, they did it to save this Islam and the Quran. Right? All lies, but, they thought, I don't know what they thought, But now it's coming to me with insight. Because I've seen there are some Quran ayats when Yahya, Hazrat Yahya, in the Quran ayat it says he was a, what do you call that? Uh, he was chaste. He didn't marry any women. And that's haram in Islam. You cannot practice. Another ayat, I've discussed that. So you see, there's one, and that Yahya is taken as a prophet by this Quran ayat. Surah Maryam, check. I just can't remember the ayat in which it was that Hazrat Yahya practiced that which the Christians practice, and it's not allowed in the Quran ayat, it's given directly. That you should not keep away from women, right? What is that word? I've forgotten. It's not allowed in Islam. Also, these Christians and their nuns, and they practice these priests and all. And the Quran ayat itself is saying that Hazrat Yahya stayed away from women. He did not marry a woman. He practiced that. And we have not named, mentioned Zachariah when he prayed, went to his Lord and he cried out, Nida, prayed. Okay, so that's how from there, I think this whole thing is a lie, to tell you the truth. Quran ayats and others coming from Muhammad. Hardly a mention of Muhammad going to the cave and, oh yeah, the ayat says, read in the name of thy Lord. We don't know about that ayat, whether it came in the cave, an angel came. There's more detail about Zechariah, Hazrat Zechariah, Jewish prophets, Moses, than Prophet Muhammad's life. Why? Why like that? So through all that, I gathered that this ayat where it says Abraham was a Shia of Nuh, the polities were explaining to them that when we take our partners with Allah, awliya we worship, so Abraham was a Shia of Nuh. And this could be a discussion between the Jews and the polytheists, and the Christians even present there maybe. And Waraka, the cousin of Khadija, wife of Prophet Muhammad, all these ayats from the Christians also he has stolen and messed up. You see, very directly, this, you cannot refute this. You cannot in any way run away from this. Look at this. That's why I gave you these two ayats together here. If you make excuses about this now, it means you are, sorry to say, you're a gone case. Sorry to say that then. Then we have to click on the timeout for you. This is it, right? And so, there are some Sunnis who are so stern, so strict, because polytheism is unforgivable sin. And they don't get it like the Shias get their Quran. They think they've got this Quran through Ali and all, after Prophet Muhammad, right? And the Imams who are muhafiz, guardians of this Quran. So, what I was trying to say is they don't get it, that these are stolen ayats and all this. And another thing I was going to say, but I've forgotten now, it's gone out of my mind. Okay, then will you give that? So you see, cause to die. So Isa al-Masih is even saying, sorry, right? Will cause to die. Then will cause to die. This also, you see, right? Bring the dead back to life, right? Surah Rum ayat 40. I hope I don't get stuck here. I keep getting stuck. See this. Then will cause you to die, then and then will give you life. Surah Al Imran ayat 49. What is Isa al-Masih doing? Actually doing? Bring the dead back to life. What is this ayat I read? Now you have no excuse, right? No excuse. Take these two ayats together. And stop being hard-hearted, stern with the Shias, with the Christians, with the Jews, against them, against the polytheists like anything. And because the Shias are closer to you, they get the brunt from you, Muslims. Oh, we only call upon Allah. Why you not call upon Allah? And I found some of you with no, like, you don't have a heart, that the Shias were doing Azadari for Imam Hussein. And you're like this with the Shias, right? Fellow Muslims. I could not believe, like, how could they be so hard-hearted against us? Until I read the Quran ayats, what my Muslim friend, ex-friend told me to do. Like what she was telling me, then I read the Quran and said, like, really? Yeah, yeah. And of the people is he whose speech pleases you in worldly life. Do not call on any other than Allah. And he calls Allah to witness as to what is in his heart. He calls Allah to witness. And Allah can't put that softness in his heart, then who can? Allah has given him respite like shaitan. शैतान को रिस्पाइट दिया है, इनको रिस्पाइट दिया है, इस जालिम को, ऐसा जालिम that he goes, fiercest of opponents. He's calling on Allah. तो हैरान नहीं रहना, हैरान नहीं हो जाना. Don't be surprised, Muslims, Shias. ये वो उम्मत है जो, no, now you go back to Prophet Muhammad and say this. ये वो उम्मत है जो खैमों को जला देती है. अरे तुम्हारा प्रॉफिट मोहम्मद को देखो पहले. बिलीवर्स को यूज़ किया है अल्लाह का, what he has used in Surah Hashar. तुम लोगों ने तो घर तोड़वा दिया है, खैमे क्या जलाए. ये वो उम्मत है. फातिमा ज़हरा ये रो रो के बयां सदा देती है, रोज़ा अहमद मुख्तार हिला देती है. From that Noah, old Noah, आग खैमों में जला दिए तो हैरान क्यों हो. ये वो उम्मत है. अच्छा, जो कुरान को जला देती, आग खैमों में लगा दी है तो हैरान क्यों हो. ये वो उम्मत है जो कुरान को जला देती है. उस्मान बिन अफ़ान burnt Qurans, saved one or some, I don't know. Hafs, and when he goes away, he strikes throughout the land to cause corruption. You say, oh, this is the ones who just call on one Allah. Okay, hard-hearted. And then come here, you Shias. Sorry, with due respect, right? Very, very respectfully, I tell you. Surah Hashar ayat. अरे तुम्हारे oh sorry your Rasulullah's ummat. What is? Hmm? ये वो मोमिन हैं जो घरों को तोड़वा देते तोड़ देते breaking houses. This is your ummah. This is your believers. They destroyed their houses by their own hands and the hands of the believers. And they were expelled from the city. Hai hai nana, मैं शाम चली सर नंगे और सर न चली. Oh Medina, do not accept us now, Kulsum says. There's a mercy and Sindhi. Koja. जो कि हाने असां तुझे लायक न रहियासीं. Because now we are not worthy of you, O Medina. Don't accept us. Because now we are not worthy of you, Medina. Kulsum, Bibi Zainab. Returning to Medina, they are seeing this. Okay? Yes. Think about Safiya bint Umayy. Think about Juwayriya bint Harith. Look at this. Think of Bani Qurayza. Because they opposed Allah and the Messenger. Whatever you have cut down of the palm trees or left standing on their trunks, it was by the permission of Allah. Do you have the heart to read this? Shias, you have the heart to read this. He gave you the heart to read this, but He didn't give you the heart. You would be crying, doing mourning for Hussein, at least if you don't beat your chest. Your presence there, Ashura Day, Muharram days, right? So this, anyways, I've just stretched it now. Please understand. Thank you for the likes. Oh my goodness. I got a like here. This is something. But you know why? Because I really feel that I'm getting through to someone. I'm getting the justice, the truth through to someone. So I'm so glad I got it to you, through to you. I'm much grateful. Thank you so much. And M16, as much as I didn't like it in the beginning, but anyways, I must thank you. It is quite a help. Thank you for your help. And also, God bless you, your country, your people, your family, much always. Have a wonderful day. Have a blessed day. Stay away from Islam. It's apostate prophet used to say this when I was watching his videos and following his subscribe to his. So yes, stay away from Islam. It's false. I'm really sorry, but it is. Okay, and this is definitely. It's very clear now, right? Very clear. I want to show you this and end with this on my screen. End with this. Can you believe this? What has happened today? For the polytheists. Now, Christians are saying to us, but for, polytheists, for those polytheists, even at that time. I don't have a relationship with Hindus. Right? So, it's not that, no, But still, I mean, for the polities, for justice, what am I doing this for? What am I doing this for? I know it's emotionally very, very tough, but may God give you the courage. I don't know if you're an atheist. No, then you are not. You're an ex-Muslim. Very good. God. Then you got the courage to see the truth. You see the contradictions and all this mash. Anything else I'm missing? If this, I was like, today it's going to happen, and this was very tough. I've been sitting, making notes on this, starting from Shia, two arguments put forth from by Allah against partners with Him, Surah Rum ayat 28, 29, like that. And that example, pathetic. But if I can't convince M16 through that, then this is just too obvious. Jesus Christ becomes, I need eloquence. I need a Christian, eloquent, some neutral person. Jesus Christ becomes partner with Allah, or even Allah Himself. Well, not the Creator Allah, you may say, but Jesus Christ becomes partner with Allah. Associate partners with Allah. Bring the dead. Not only give life, but bring the dead back to life with God's permission. So if you say, well, here he's saying God's permission, please, that also is a low logic thing against these Quran ayats, against polytheism. Here, Allah should have put, by the permission of Allah, who has given you authority? Who has? Where do you have the authority? Allah should have directly put, I've brought authority that you can take partners with me. Why didn't He do that directly? Huh? Why didn't He say directly in the Quran? That also, think about it. That messenger of Allah is a partner with me. Isa al-Masih is a partner with me. In this case. Oh, before going, you know what Abraham has done? Which ayat was I going to go to? Takwir Nisa. Oh, I've missed some ayats. You know, Abraham broke the idol. Look. The Lord said, "O Iblis, what prevented you from prostrating yourself before Him whom I created of my two hands?" You see, also this, remember this, right? When God told Iblis, "What prevented you from bowing down to the man I have made with my own hands?" Not blown my spirit, but made with my own hands. I know you would say power and all this, but what is this affection? What is this that the idol worshippers, when they make their gods with their hands? You know what Abraham did? At least that act of Allah they can do with their personal god or idol god, right? Indeed, among his kind was Abraham. Among his Shia was Abraham when he came to his Lord with a sound heart. I'm reading now very fast Safat ayats, Surah Safat ayats, without numbers, right? Numbering, giving the numbers. He said to his father and his people, "What are you worshipping? It is falsehood as gods other than Allah you desire. Is it falsehood as gods other than Allah you desire?" 87, okay. "Then what is your thought about the Lord of the worlds?" And he cast a look at the stars and said, "Indeed, I am about to be ill." He lied to them. So they turned away from him, departing, so that he could break their idols and tell them, ask the chief idol. 91. Then he turned to the gods and said, do you not eat? What is wrong with you that you do not speak? And he turned upon them a blow with his right hand. Right? Striking them with the right hand. Then they, i.e. the people, came toward him hastening. He said, do you worship that which you yourselves carve? But these poor people, they were perhaps copying Allah, carving Adam, which he made with his 2 hands. And Shaitan refused to bow to him. And what did Allah say? The one I made with my 2 hands, not blew into him my spirit. No, he tells the angels, when I have blown into him of my spirit, and when I have what? You see? So, Abraham is doing a thing which is so hard-hearted, right? And now he gives this, while Allah created you and that which you do, and forget this. But, very subtle points now I'm giving you about the polytheistic, for the polytheists. You see, when Allah says here in Surah 38, no, sorry, Surah Saad, that was Surah Safat I was reading. So the angels prostrated. Why? Because Allah said, after I've created him and breathed into him my spirit, fall you down prostrating yourselves to him. So the angels prostrated. And what does he tell? But does he tell Iblis? What prevented you from prostrating? That which I created with my hands. So you are being Iblis here, not prostrating to that and breaking, that divinity in you, perhaps. The breath of Allah in you, the spirit of Allah in you. And also, breaking of the idols, what are you doing? An act of Allah which Allah did there. An act of Allah. Because no angel has he made with his 2 hands. Whether you call it might and power, or it represents it metaphorically. See footnote 4, Surah Baqarah at 19, and I've even read the Shia, right? What does it mean? Which I have created with my hands. So here, if they're copying what Allah for the gods, the act of Allah here. And don't tell me they can't, because Isa ibn Maryam did. In Ali Imran, it's got all this breathing. He took clay and he made it into the shape of the bird and blew into him and made him come alive. And are you going to, or if it's just an idol, a bird there, what the polytheists did was just create in the copying Allah, their idol. You don't know it could come alive. When Isa ibn Maryam could do it, but you're breaking that idol with your hands. That act of Allah, they can at least do a copy. Right? So you're being Iblis, you're being Shaitan. That's what Abraham was being. Okay, thank you very much. Have a beautiful day. Always be happy, be in bliss, be out of this fear, falsehood, and whatnot made you hate the polytheists, hate the Jews of that time, this Christians, Nijis, worst of creatures, Surebaina. Stay away from it, please stay away. But do your research the way I've given you here. You can copy me, even listen to all the other ex-Muslims, and leave. Get support. Help is here on YouTube. Get all the support is available here, and leave this religion, please, for your own good.